You are listening to Sonata, Book 2 in the Nocturne Symphony series, written by Lyra R. Saenz, narrated by Jade Kelly, published by Horsemen Publishing Incorporated. Copyright Lyra R. Saenz and 2022, all rights reserved. Dedication. To the cat who sits on my lap, for the sole purpose of letting me know how much she disapproves of my constant attention to an inanimate device. Prologue. The Lovers Reversed. Wren. 8th day in the month of Falling, 1877 AP, 3 a.m. Something wakes Wren at gloontide. Kai's arm thrown over her waist, the same old witching hour wakefulness. A nightly happening ever since her magic awoke. She's long grown accustomed to the sleeplessness. Despite the darkness, she can see Kai's face clear as day. A little perk of being a creature of the night, even if the gentle browns of his hair and the lavender tones of his skin wash out in the murky wash of nightshade. Her hand gently traces from his brow over the slumbering technodes at his temple, and they flicker in response. Her fingertips glide to the ridge of his cheekbone, past the smooth plane of his cheek, and across the edge of his jaw to his chin, where a line of prickly stubble grows, inciting a quiet snuffle from the sleeping technomancer. As her lover settles back, Wren sighs. What might it be like to have this every night? To wake up to this every morning? Between her legs, she can still feel the evidence of their tryst, damp with just a touch of soreness for spice. She purrs, rubbing her knees together and feeling the residual heat of their intimacy. Kai's breath fans over her fingertips as she outlines the bridge of his lips into the divot of his cupid's bow and through the slight scruff of facial hair grown out in the night. He nuzzles into her palm, and Wren shifts to replace her fingertips with her lips, but winces as the cuts on her forearm throb. When she shifts to examine her arm, a horrible sticky sensation travels across her skin. The bandage is soaked, stained a blackened crimson. She scrambles out of bed, stumbling into the bathroom. The 3 cuts on her arm drip rivulets of blood, like veins taking root outside her skin and staining the countertop. She yanks on the cold water faucet and shoves her arm under the water. Swirls of red spiral down the drain. Unceasing, the bleeding does not slow, and her vision blurs, edges darkening despite the brightness of the mirror lights. Merde! How long had she been bleeding? A sound above the sink draws her attention, a long, croaking rasp rattling out of smoke-soaked lungs. She looks up, and out of the mirror, burning hands reach for her throat, a woman's face scorched and twisted in rage. Betrayer! Wren chokes on her own scream as charred fingers wind around her throat. The witch wakes from her nightmare. The very real cuts on her arm still bleeding, though, at a much more sedate pace than in her night terror. She draws herself out of the embrace of her lover, goes to solve this new mystery. A burning woman calling to her in her dreams. But the hour following her wake-up call is a waking nightmare all on its own. While some children in Deriva have nightmares of El Cucuy, Wren has never been afraid of such fantasies. Sleep-generated ghosts and whimsies true nightmares do not make. The boogeyman, the vampiric visitor, the howl of a wolf in the night, the old hag who kidnaps and devours children. Nothing so mundane could ever truly frighten Wren. She's spoken to too many spirits, befriended too many monsters, chased off too many demons. No, people scare Wren. Conversations and expectations, responsibility laid on her shoulders, and the judgments of strangers. These are what fuel Wren's most primal fears. And for Wren, being chased from Kaito's arms is worse than any haunting or night terror she could face. Chased from the first safe place she's found since before her first death for the simple crime of being who she is, for the name she bears, for the glowing marks on her skin.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?